Hello everyone and welcome back to GTNH. I hope you're all doing fantastic. I'm doing pretty well myself. So our goal this episode is to shift the seasons. You know, I said this might not be another bee episode, but I'm just loving this project so much. And you guys all commented saying you wanted more bees, so we're going to do another bee episode today, tangentially. So in the last episode we were working from A to breeder B, trying to get the perfect stats on the breeder bee, so that we could pass those on to the rest of the species as we put them on passive. And it took about another hour, just over an hour, to get where we wanted from where we left off last time. Oh yes, finally! Yes, this is it. This is our bee right here. This is our perfect breeder bee. Look at those stats. Oh yeah, these noble drones, right, I think it's these ones, right? Let's just scan one. I didn't scan them so that they stack, but this should be our perfect bee right here. Longest lifespan, blinding production speed, flower type, 4x fertility, beatific effect, which is regeneration, climate tolerances of both 5, either direction for the humidity and the heat, as well as the 4 perfect stats down here, diurnal, nocturnal, tolerant flyer, and cave dwelling. I told you guys I would get the perfect stats, and here we are. This is very exciting, very, very exciting. So at this point, our objective is to put as many bees on passive as we can, right? So throughout the process of getting all these perfect stats, we unlocked many different types of bee here. For example, the Certus, the Lapis, the demonic, rural, I'm not going to list all the bees here, iron, copper, lots of different stuff. And we want to put these all on passive so that we can start to generate the combs. Like the copper bee here will make us copper comb, we can centrifuge this for copper dust, and a little bit of extra beeswax. The issues that we now face in making this happen though is twofold. Say we want an extra 4 Alvearies to start off with. Yeah, we're missing seed oil, we're missing honey, and we're missing beeswax. This is like not a new problem either, but you can see it's quite an expensive endeavour just to craft 4 of these Alvearies. Fortunately, I have already taken some steps to address this problem between episodes. I first started by getting a clay bee and a coal bee together, and I took our Alveary setup into the nether. With the hellish temperature of the nether, which is a requirement for breeding these 2 bees together, we can put the coal bee and clay bee in the Alveary, and it's going to output us the ash bee. Somehow though we didn't get a princess, we just got 2 drones, and I think that's because our Alveary setup isn't quite optimal. So last episode I mentioned that we can put 8 golden electron tubes in 2 electrical stimulators to give us increased chance of mutation. And I thought that was the cap, but actually we can add 1 more electrical stimulator, again with 4 electron tubes, so that should allow us to mutate everything with more or less 100% chance, with the exception of the ultra rare bees. Things like the Infinity Princess, less than a 1% chance, Cosmic Neutronium, Infinity Catalyst, all of these things, yeah, Neutronium, all of these super ultra rare bees is going to take us a few chances, but anything with at least a couple of percentage points with the 12 golden electron tubes, and we should be able to manage it in our Alveary. So once I made sure we had enough drones for the ash bee and kept a backup stock, I then combined the ash bee with another coal bee, and that gave us the appetite bee. And then of course duplicated the drones again, put on the perfect stats from our breeder bee, and also built another Alveary, which we had constructed in the last episode. Actually, it was another 2 Alvearies. I did have to take another trip into the nether to annoy the wasps in order to gather some honey to get the Alveary crafted. But I'm hoping with all these new additions it's going to be the last time we have to go into the nether, since I also mutated a Meadows drone and a Valiant drone together to give us the Saffron Princess. And of course, once again, put on the perfect stats from our breeder bee and kept a backup stock. And yeah, we're now running the Saffron bee, the Appetite bee, our Industrious and Imperial bees, which I also, just for fun, well, not just for fun, but we kind of need it, I put on the perfect stats for these guys as well, on the Industrious and Imperial, so all of these guys are now maxed out. And if you'll remember a couple of episodes ago, I talked about the production value of the Alveary, how there's that threshold at 16 production, and the max you can get to with the stimulators with the diamantine electron tubes. So it's 10 diamantine electron tubes and 2 iron, and that should bring you up to 15.790, which we're now at for all of these. So that means we have blinding production, and we're maxed out on our Alveary setup. So this is as fast as they can go, at least with a 2B setup. We can always add more bees and more Alvearies, but yeah, 15.790. This one's also 15. This one's also 15. So yeah, we're we're blinding production on all this stuff. So the saffron bee is actually one of the fastest ways to get honeycomb. The honeycomb is just centrifuged for beeswax, which we use in the Alveary craft, and also honey drop, which as of last episode, we now have a fluid extractor here, fluid extracting into fluid honey, which is one of the things we were missing for the Alveary craft again. Oh, another emerald. Thank you, Diddy. Thank you, Metis. I don't know which one of you guys keep giving us the emeralds, but I'm happily going to take them. And some of you guys mentioned they might need a better home than this, like more space. So I think maybe that's on the cards for today. I don't know, we'll see. What do you guys think? Yeah? Yeah? I'm keeping my eye on you too. That's for sure. Yeah, so the saffron bee also has a special output, which is yellow tinted combs, basically just another way to generate beeswax and honey drop. So it's like a second chance output at more fluid honey. However, this is a special output, 25% chance. However, for the special output, which applies here for the saffron, and also the apatite bee has a special output, apatite combs, unsurprisingly, which we can send into ore processing later on. This apatite comb is not the main reason I picked up the apatite bee, it was in fact for the seedy comb, since seedy combs can give us nut dew and we can fluid extract this into seed oil, which is, I'm hoping, going to be our solution to the fact that we're missing 100 buckets of seed oil here. And this is just for 4 Alvearies. And just as a reminder, we're making seed oil from peanuts from this farming station, but it's like, it's giving us peanuts amounts. It's like, it's no bueno, so we need to do something about this. Oh yeah, I guess while we're passing this area, you guys might have spotted it in the episode. I'm not sure if I've shown this direction yet, but if you'll remember what this used to look like before, right above our ME controller, I decided to go ahead and construct another tower. So giving you the before and after shots here, it's nothing innovative, I would say. I more or less just copied the visual language that we have in the existing towers over there. But I did try to keep some things the same. There was some compromises made just to account for the fact that we have a structure underneath and we have to have this walkway on top. Well, we don't really have to. It might get changed actually, but yeah, we have this walkway connecting up to the hives. And yeah, I basically just tried to keep like most of the things the same. It's slightly different to the other ones. Instead of the white in the corners, we have this grey band, which I happen to quite like actually. And I tried to keep the white band, the horizontal white band, at the same level as these ones. So I think it's an alright addition overall. I think it's not too bad. It works very well in the position it's in. And especially down here at mission control, it feels a bit better in here, right? Like, oh yeah, we can turn off our objective board. Okay, that's not funny. We have the perfect bee. We have our perfect bee. Yeah, we'll update that in just a second. But yeah, I think down here it's feeling a lot better. By the way, I also moved the miner into the overworld. It's just slowly, passively generating us resources and then being processed in the overworld. All of which we still have to move. I'm always reminded by all the things we have to move. But anyways, back to the bees right here. So for the special outputs, it only occurs under certain conditions. And basically, the bees need to be jubilant. So if we check our subnet here, we're not going to see any of those special combs, the apatite comb or the yellow tinted comb. We're not going to see any of these because the bees need to be jubilant. You can see on the tooltip there, it says needs preferred climate. So when we constructed the genetics lab here, we also invested in some acclimatizers, which adjust the climate of the bees, but this does not make them jubilant. It only allows them to work in that environment. So for example, let's take this noble princess. This noble princess is asking for a normal climate and a normal humidity. If you put this bee inside the acclimatizer, it can work in up to 5 in either direction. So both 5 is the max that you can go. But it's still listed separately here under their tolerance. Tolerance is not the same as the ideal humidity and ideal climate. So for this noble princess to be jubilant, it needs the preferred climate. Some require specific biome, but for this one it just needs a specific climate. And in this case it's asking for normal. So the climate has to be normal, and you can't adjust that in any way other than putting the Alveary in another biome. Or we can shift the seasons. Actually, I think it's called shifting seasons. Yes, or we can shift the seasons, because we did not just put all that work into... Oh, can we reload this? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so we don't want to put all this effort into the hives only to go and throw Alvearies elsewhere in other dimensions. So here we have jungle biome, and jungle biome by default is normal damp, at least at the Y level that we are at. Remember, it does change the humidity and temperature depending on the Y level, not just the biome. But we can shift the seasons, or in other words, change the biome that these Alvearies are in. And it's listed in the quest book here somewhere. I think it's under the How to Be chapter. There is a way to do this. Yeah, bringing the biome to you. There's several different options to change a biome, but the one we're going to go for is the Brew of Shifting Seasons from Witchery. So it has a small range, which is actually ideal, because that means we can only affect the specific Alveary of the bee that we want, and not have it change or mess up any of the ones surrounding it. The biome can be exactly specified, so we have precise control over which biome we choose, and it should allow us to make any bee that we want jubilant and produce the special output, in this case the appetite comb. We can add different ingredients to change the range of the brew. At max has a 3-block circular radius. 3-block circular radius? Yeah, that should be enough, right? Because the Alvearies are 3x3. And is also instant, which is pretty nice. But how do we make this shifting seasons? Well, we are going to have to look to the edges and start Witchery, or Bewitchment, as it's known in later versions of the game. And the last time I played with Bewitchment, I've never played with Witchery before. Never played with the 1.7 version, especially with all the changes that GTNH brings. Yeah, the last time I played with Bewitchment was Divine Journey 2, which was some years ago by now, so... yeah, similar to the bees, we're going to be learning this together, and we're going to try to work our way up to the Shifting Seasons potion. Actually, the first thing we're going to do is join our 2 sub-networks together. I want these CD combs processed automatically, so we're going to need a storage bus and an interface. Let's just batchcraft a few. We'll make like 16. We can make 16, right? Yeah, no problem. Man, we don't have a lot of space back here, but we need to put an interface on a storage bus, and we need the interface on the yellow network. So, like, here. We should have enough channels here on orange network, right? Yeah, we're only using 4, so we'll put it right here. So this interface here belongs to yellow net, or subnet, and this storage bus here is going to belong to mainnet or orange net. We're going to put this on extract only. Basically, what this storage bus is going to allow us to do is see the contents of the yellow network within the orange network, and also interact with them in other locations in the world. Right, so if we check the yellow net here, we're going to see 927 CD combs. And if we check the orange network here, we should see those CD combs listed here. They're still stored in the yellow net, but we can see and interact with them in the orange net. But again, I want this on extract only because I don't want any other system to be able to insert into yellow. Only if we come and insert here manually, or if the Alvearies output, or the centrifuges output, which is where they're supposed to be placed in the yellow subnet. So the CD combs have to be centrifuged first, which we can just very easily add to our stocking input bus here. And that should centrifuge all 900. It's going to give us some, what was it? Nut dew and honey drop. The honey drop is going to be sent to this fluid extractor any second now. There it is, making us fluid honey. And the nut dew we're going to send over to our farm over here. So underneath the farm we have another fluid extractor, which is fluid extracting the peanuts into seed oil. The nut dew can also be fluid extracted into seed oil. So what we're going to do is actually request it in this dual interface, nut dew here, and we just have to send that into the machine. So we need some, we're out of range here, we need some item conduit. Probably just for safety, also a filter as well. So we want to insert into the fluid extractor on brown channel, filtered for honeydew, and we can extract from here on brown channel. And the fluid conduit is already set up here to take the seed oil back to main fluid storage, back into the orange dual interface. By the way, I've seen some comments asking why I don't use fluid interfaces. Fluid interfaces don't exist in GTNH. The dual interface is effectively the fluid interface. But yeah, because it's sent to a fluid interface, it's going to be put to any available storage, which for us is here. No, that's lubricant. Is here for seed oil. Oh wow, look at that. It's already processed it all. I assume not all of the nut dew is processed. Yeah, we have 700 nut dew. That's going to take a while because we're only sending it through a MV fluid extractor, so that will probably have to be upgraded at some point. But I'm wondering actually if we can already make our next Alveary. Another 27? Yeah, let's go ahead and request this thing. By the way, I'm just going to keep crafting Alvearies as they become available, and I'll fill you in on all the new bee additions. Okay, so we are already how far into this episode? I don't even know yet, but I think it's actually getting quite lengthy already, and I feel like we've not even started our first major objective for today. We can tear all this out, and you know what? Let's actually just go ahead and do that right now. We don't need to. This used to run our Industrious and what was the other bee? Imperial. Industrious and Imperial bees to get the initial Alveary. So the first thing we're going to have to do to start Witchery is actually dive into a bit of Thaumcraft. I believe we need the Witch's Oven, one of the first crafts, and it's crafted in the Arcane Work table, and we need the research. Where that research is, I have no idea. I'm assuming there's a specific Witchery chapter somewhere. Insurgents, Witching Gadgets, there we go, Witchery. Oh, and of course it's a forbidden knowledge, so we're going to get some warp for doing this. Gonna go with that Ordo Instrumentum spam, as always. I love this meta, it's so good. You just spam Instrumentum and Ordo, and you get basically all of them. Right, we can keep going. Instrumentum here. Metallum is Vitreous Terra, so we can go Vitreous into Ordo. And then Instrumentum, Ordo, that connects those, and then we have the cogwheel. I forget the name of this one. Yeah, Machina, which is Instrumentum again, and what is this? Motus? Yeah, so we can actually just do that and keep going with the Instrumentum Ordo. Oh, there's something not connected. Oh, here, we have two Ordo next to each other. There we go. Let's grab some warp. I hope there's no extra warp effects for doing that, but I believe it only happens at certain thresholds. Oh, and of course the rest have warp as well, so I mean, we don't really have much of a choice. We kind of have to pick up the warp. But here in GTNH, you can eventually spawn withers around you if you have sufficient amounts of warp, so you have to be extremely careful. Although by now we do have the tools to deal with it, I mean, we can make the tools to deal with it, we just don't have them yet. So after the Witchery Oven research, I also picked up the Anointing Paste, Witchery Altar and Fume Funnel researches, then the Attune Stone and the Candelabra, and finally the Witchery Kettle, Spinning Wheel and the Chalice. I think there might be some more warpy research for us to get to our objective, and to be honest I'm a little bit nervous to see what effects we'll end up with. But putting all that to the back of my mind, I realised that we needed a space to be a witch. And you guys know me by now in that I don't like to get too far ahead of myself, so I decided to pause here and think about how all this would be implemented into our base. I picked out a location and a suitable aesthetic to complement Witchery, and I tried to make sure it would fit nicely into our existing build. Alright guys, so after some time spent building here, I think we've got a space to start Witchery. And it's nothing special, I'm going to be honest with you, it's very basic. But I try to introduce depth and interest in shape rather than in block differences and block variety. I've been actually really interested in doing like one block builds, which is basically what this is, it's just all cubit. But I think it actually works not too bad, as like I didn't want like your attention to be brought over there too much, but I still wanted some sort of interest in shape in the distance, which I think we actually managed to achieve over here. It's probably a little bit difficult for you guys to see, so let's increase the sky color. We'll do like that maybe. Yeah, nice blue, so you could get a bit of contrast. Yeah, so I basically just went with a dome, an upside, or a cone, I guess it would be. Yeah, cone. I added some extra interest though in adding these like arches on the side. So we got that on all four sides, and it should be symmetrical on all sides, right? But other than that, it's very basic. It's hollow on the inside and just a big grass patch. There is a reason for its size. So in Witchery, we're going to have to build a Witchery altar. And the altar will check a 31 by 31 radius? No, diameter around it. The circle that we have here is 34 blocks in diameter, so it's going to be plenty big enough, and it's not going to stay flat either. Well, it might stay flat, but there's going to be, of course, lots of greenery on here because the Witchery altar needs various blocks to give it altar power, which we'll take a look at today. So for now, we're basically just going to be following the quests, and I think the first quest is going to have to be to farm some of the Witchery items. We're going to have to right-click dirt, and it should give us some of these Witchery seeds. Yeah, belladonna. I think there's 6 in total, or is it 7? Or 5? I don't even know. It's been a while since I've played with this mod, and there's going to be a lot of running around today, I have a feeling. I'm going to be running around like a headless chicken trying to get all the materials for this, but hey, we're going to just embrace it, because it's not all the time we get to... Wait, what was that? Water artichoke? That's the one that you place on water, right? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we want to start getting all these crops. But yeah, I'm just going to embrace it, since it's not all the time we get to play with the magic mods. And to be honest, I have been neglecting this. This is, like, you really should be doing this in, like, MV. And we're now in, like, approaching LUV. We're like, kissing LUV, but better late than never, I suppose. And it's going to allow us to fix our bee situation over there. Which, by the way, I did add another bee. So you know how we got the explosive bee last episode for its longest lifespan? I did go ahead and put the perfect stats on that bee, and I'll also throw it in an alveary over here. Let me just actually make sure I set the filter here. Yeah, the filter's set here for industrial TNT, which we'll need for the implosion compressor to craft the next tier of rocket, among other things. But we're going to be trying to get the next tier of rocket relatively soon here, once we get our bees on passive. But it's only been a couple hours, and we're already at 595 industrial TNT, which is excellent. We were down to our last 5 to get the explosive bee last episode. So yeah, it's going to be nice getting all these passive resources, and the earlier we can set up passive processes, the better. I did actually plan to move the platinum line this episode instead of doing more bees, but again, the earlier you can get the passive processes set up, the better. And technically this is a passive process, but we don't have all the inputs, like the input ore, because platinum ore and iridium ore come from tier 3 planets, which we need the rocket for, and yeah, that's what the industrial TNT is for. So there's so many different things to do, and it's very easy to get overwhelmed. But we're just going to take it one step at a time here, and we're going to use that research and craft the witch's oven, which should be like this. Oh, we're missing. What are we missing? Thaumium. All right, and this should be the next quest in Witchery, the witch's oven. Our screen is going to go black here, I think. Oh, it's not the quest? Are we missing one item for this? Oh, we're missing clay jars. So I ended up getting the quest here for all the seeds. We got all those planted. But there is a bug in the game right now with Witchery quests where whenever you complete a quest, the screen goes dark, like completely black. So you might hear some questings and no visuals to go along with it, but we are getting the quests, or we should be getting the quests along the way. I want to set up a recipe for the clay jars because at least in Bewitchment they were used quite frequently, and I'm assuming it's going to be the same here in Witchery, so we'll set a recipe here for clay to clay jars, which is in the forming press. And we'll need a bottle mold as well. Do we have one of those? We don't have one of those. And that also most likely means we don't have the mold in here. Now, that's a block mold. This is the regular forming presses. This is for the 82 inscriber stuff. I wonder if we have one at the old base. I remember leaving some molds here somewhere. Do we happen to have a bottle mold here anywhere? Yeah, see what I mean by this being like MV stuff and we're running around all over the place? And this is only the beginning as well. Wait, the bottle mold. Nice. Nice. Is that the right one? Yeah, that's totally the right one. That's totally the right one. That's awesome. So assuming we have enough channels here, if I turn on the tooltip, yeah, 27 of 32. We have a spare input bus, so we should just be able to hook up an interface. Apparently applied energistics is offline. Sometimes this happens, I don't really know why. I think maybe a chunk is unloaded somewhere and the whole system blinks out. I don't really know what the deal with that is, but... Or maybe it's just a visual glitch, I'm not sure. In any case, we're going to add our bottle mold and we'll add the pattern in here. And we'll also name the interface here. How was I naming it? Forming press block. So this one will be forming press bottle. And then we'll also need a recipe for regular clay because I don't think we have too much of that, to be honest. Yeah, we're down to our last 10. And it's kind of funny that we maybe should have set up the clay bee. One of the first ones we got last episode. And we kind of need it right now. But we do fortunately have lots of this hardened clay from excavating the valley. So I believe there is a maceration recipe for this. We'll just, yeah, we'll set up a pattern for this one. We'll do it a stack at a time. And then the soft clay jars need to be smelted, so we can smelt this, again, 64 at a time in the multi-smelter. So you go in the macerator, and you go in the multi-smelter. Oh, wait a second, we're missing one more recipe for clay dust, which is what we get from maceration into clay, regular clay, in the mixer. I hope we have a circuit too. Please tell me we have a mixer circuit too. We do, but there's no space in it, so we'll have to add a pattern capacity card. Oh, nice, and we even have some crafted. Excellent. Alright, so I should have fixed all the recipes. We've got our clay jars ordered, and this should be our quest, along with that blank screen. Yep, it lasts a couple of seconds, but there's not really a whole lot we can do about it. So now that we've got the first quest, we need to make exhaled of the horned one. And this is done inside the witch's oven, so we need some sort of fuel source. Actually, you know what, let's for now just do it here. Oh, look at that old texture. Look at that old texture. We need to, I think it was saplings, right? So we need oak saplings, we need some sort of fuel source. We have 4 million charcoal. I guess we'll use that. We need the clay jar inside, and it's only a chance output, as far as I understand. Yeah, I believe this exhaled of the horned one is a chance output, and the wood ash we get guaranteed. You'll also get wood ash when burning saplings. It's useful, don't toss it. Okay, boss. Okay, boss. Don't know what we need it for, though. I guess growth medium or, I don't know, something. Potions, maybe? So while our witch's oven is bubbling away, we need to come back and get some of these seeds. Do we get... Oh. Oh no, we did actually get them. It was just, it just didn't show up there for a second. But we need all these seeds to go through a mixer, and it will make us anointing paste, which was one of the researches. So we have mandrake. Yeah, and mandrake is actually a special case. Oh, we got an icy needle. Mandrake, the quest mentioned that you can only harvest those during the night. According to legend, when the root of the mandrake plant is dug up, it screams and kills all who hear it. This is only partially true. A fully grown mandrake may scream, causing immense discomfort to those around. This is why it's best to harvest the mandrake root at night. Now, of course, this dimension is always daytime, so I don't know if we can actually harvest this during the day, or if it has to be nighttime to harvest it. We do need it though for this anointing paste, which we need to craft the witch's cauldron. So maybe we should try to get some more seeds, and there goes our hoe. I don't think it works with a matic, right? Or maybe it does? Ah, I guess it does. Yeah, I'm going to try to get some more seeds and plant them in the overworld. At least for the sake of the crops, because if these guys lose light level, then they could turn into weeds, and we don't want a mess here. I do not want to start messing with crops on top of all this stuff. Oh my goodness, that would be a disaster. Alright, so I went ahead and gathered all the seeds we need, and I realised we could just bone meal those things. We don't need to keep gathering the seeds. And I did actually meet the mandrake. I didn't realise it was an actual entity. I mean, I didn't really know what I was thinking, but yeah, those little guys are vicious. I encoded the recipe for the witch's cauldron, and the cauldron has to have fire underneath, and it has to be filled with water. So I've went ahead and done some research here in Thaumcraft again, and unlocked the arcane ear, which has unlocked the everfull urn research, which we're going to pick up here. I'm not 100% sure this is going to work on the witch's cauldron. I'm only assuming it will. What am I doing? Metallum? That does not belong anywhere near that. Oh my goodness, I'm so out of practice. Even though I've just done like 15 of these things. Okay, that. Motus. Here. That's an almost embarrassing chain. Look at that. So inefficient. But we got it. Okay, what's the recipe for this everfull? Oh my goodness, no way. It's an arcane infusion. Okay, so instability of 9. I think we've handled recipes much more unstable than this. But we can check with the arcane abacus, right? I believe. Yeah, total stability is 15. And it does recognize it, otherwise it wouldn't say in chat like this. But I think we've gathered all the aspects. We have all our input ingredients. Clay jar in the middle. Let's go. Yeah, I would love Thalmic Energistics right about now. That would be really ideal, to be honest. And it's kind of appealing to me now. Unlike the past where it was kind of seen as a chore, at least in my own head. I was like, oh man, we're going to have to do Thaumcraft. But now I'm like, oh yes, we're going to have to do Thaumcraft. Like, genuinely. I don't really know what switched. I was watching some older videos of Minecraft 1.7 with Thaumcraft in, and it just, I don't know, it looks like a lot of fun. Despite the warp effects, we're getting like eggs tossed at us and gold coins at our feet every now and then. I don't think I've caught it on camera yet. Oh yeah, and this thing is so slow without tick acceleration. At least I'm pretty sure you can tick accelerate this thing. Haha, it worked. Screen goes black again, of course. We even got our buckets back, nice. Yeah, I have a funny feeling this is not the last infusion I'm going to do today. And this is another thing we have to move. On top of all the technology stuff, like we need a proper area for Thaumcraft. And I want it to be much more thought out than Witchery. Witchery is kind of one of those mods where you don't need a ton of infrastructure. And you also don't need power up there either, so it doesn't really matter where it's going to be placed. But I was kind of thinking a bit more about this. I think we're going to extend this down. We'll make like a little skinny tower. Maybe have it flare out at the bottom. And connect it up to that walkway down there. And then maybe put like a spiral staircase in like the middle here. I think that could be pretty cool eventually. Whenever we build out this area here. Okay, but we do have our anointing paste. We do have a spare cauldron, I believe. And I think it's like the Thaumcraft cauldron where you just click with the anointing paste, right? And we get our witch's cauldron. And the quest and a black screen. I hope I didn't go off the edge there. Nope, we're safe. We're safe. Oh, you know what? We should get a travel anchor for up there for all the times that we're gonna... Yeah, we'll craft a travel anchor. The candelabra, I think, is one of the coolest textures in Witcher... Wait, this is Witchery. The candelabra is one of the coolest textures. I don't know why they changed it in 1.12. In fact, there's a few textures in here which are, in my opinion, better. That doesn't necessarily apply for the witch's cauldron, though. So the question now is this going to fill it with water? And the answer is, yes it does. Perfect. Okay, our time was not wasted. Okay, so I don't know about you guys, but at least for me, this is going at a snail's pace. So I wonder if we can use maybe just a touch of magic. And with the power of video editing, we can get to the point where we can craft this potion of shifting seasons. Oh yeah, I feel like we're back in DJ too. Okay, so welcome to our brand new revamped version 2.0 Witchery area to be a witch. And well, I would say that was quite a bit of magic there. Yeah, that was quite the time skip there. I spent way too long on this, to be honest with you. But I wanted to make an effort. You know, I was just going to leave it a big flat platform. But no, that simply won't do. You guys know me by now. I like to do things properly. I said it was proper before in the first time lapse of this episode. But no. We're going to go all the way. We're doing this properly. We're doing this run properly. So yeah, I wanted to take as much time as I really needed to get this place looking proper. So there is a reason for all this nature stuff. As I mentioned earlier on, it's not just for decoration. Although I think it turned out actually better than I expected it to. I actually just decided to use the vertical space that we had, rather than keep it hollow on the inside. Okay, so for the shifting season potion, we need an altar power of 5450 at least. And the altar, as I mentioned, is going to check a 31 by 31 diameter, based on the last block that you placed. So I placed this front center one last, so it's 15 blocks out from this one in every direction, vertical as well, which is why it's slightly lower. And as you can see, we're now at 8,000 altar power, and we have a 6x recharge rate, which is actually pretty decent. I struggled to get this amount of altar power in Divine Journey 2. I don't know if things have changed since then with the altar power, but I believe you can use the dragon egg, which I didn't want to do. I want to make sure we can keep it here, and we don't have to keep moving it over, but it should also increase the altar power. I'm curious by how much. Yeah, 9,300. That should get you over the mark if you're pretty close. But one of the biggest contributing blocks is the player head, the chalice, which you can fill. I'm not actually sure how to fill the chalice. Oh, we need redstone soup. Yeah, the candelabra, the arthana, which you actually get as a quest reward. But yeah, lots of this stuff. And then it's basically just all nature blocks. If you guys would like a full, well, not a full list, but I mean a list that will get you at least 5450 altar power, you can check out the spreadsheet once again. I want to thank Metis for putting that information together. Metis, by the way, also now lives next to our altar. I took him away from Diddy over there, and Diddy will have his own space eventually. But yeah, as I suspected, I was all over the place searching for all this stuff. I was in the Twilight Forest to get all this podzol and mycelium and mushrooms. I was in the Nether. I was like all over the overworld in jungles to get vines. Yeah, there's a lot of different stuff here. But if you keep spamming nature stuff, eventually you'll cap out your altar. It's only a matter of time, right? Yeah, we're back down to 8,000. Which is plenty. 8,000 is going to be more than enough for our shifting season potions. Anyways, let's finally check out how all this stuff works. So I did go ahead and craft the first potion already. So you saw me go out and fight some creepers, which you do need for this witch's robe. And apparently creepers will ignore us when we have this on. I mean, that might have been useful in the early game actually, but yeah, it's not actually necessary to craft the potion. It just, there's a mechanic called expertise, and basically the more potions that you craft, especially with the witch's gear on, the potential for more output that you get later on as you increase your expertise. I'm not sure if it's going to say in chat or not, but I've only crafted the one potion here, and it did work first time. I was troubleshooting it for a while, and it sat in the cauldron here, but I'll show you guys how it all works. But if you guys are referencing this video later on and just want to get the Shift in Season potion, essentially what you need is that 5450 altar power. You need a distillery, you need the Witch's Cauldron, a way to fill it, and the Everfull urn isn't the only way to fill it. I think you can pipe water into this thing, although don't quote me on that. You need the Witch's Oven, which I have also upgraded with the Fume Funnel. This was one of the researches that we got in Thumbcraft. These funnels here basically just make it more efficient. It gives you more chance at the output here, and it also makes it a bit faster to cook things in the Witch's Oven. If you want to get the Witch's Gear, which I do recommend, then you also need the spinning wheel, which isn't too difficult to craft. All the recipes are pretty self-explanatory, to be honest. There's not really any hidden mechanics until it comes to the Witch's Cauldron here for crafting the potion. Oh my goodness, these eggs! Thumbcraft! These eggs, don't turn this into Nomi Factory again, with the chickens everywhere. But okay, so the first question we have to ask ourselves is which biome we want to change the Alveary into. I think it might not be a bad idea to do one biome per grass patch, since eventually we're going to have multiple bees which require the same biome, and there's only so many different humidity and temperature combinations that we're going to need long term. So yeah, and it's just easier if like this, for example, is all one biome, is all plains or all mountain biome or whatever it may be. So let's do the saffron bee first of all. We'll make sure we scan our queen here, and I think this guy was asking for, or she was asking for normal. Normal you can get in plains biome, I know that, but I don't know if the fact that we're so high up in the world, remember that does change the temperature and the humidity for the sake of the Alvearies. So I'm not sure if plains is actually going to give us normal up at this Y level. I guess we're just going to craft the potion and find out, as I'm told that you can shifting season potion the same area twice. So we should be able to overwrite any of our mistakes. It's just going to cost us the ingredients for the potion. So to get the biome we want to craft the Book of Biomes, and we want the extended version. The regular Book of Biomes, yeah, I had to... Quicksand, I had to go out and get that. There was quite a lot of stuff here, like blue slime dirt, we didn't have any of that. Mycelium. So this book has 323 pages worth of biomes here. So we're going to go for the plains one to start off with. So you select the page, and then you craft this with a piece of paper, and it gives you the biome for plains. And then going off the quest here, we want a mandrake root, netherwort, tear of the goddess, diamond vapor, and a diamond. So mandrake root, netherwort, let's just do one at a time here. Netherwort, tear of the goddess, diamond vapor, and a diamond. Again, all this stuff is very easy to craft in the distillery, for example. You don't need any extra blocks for the distillery, it just works if you give it the inputs. So these have to be given in order, so mandrake, netherwort, tear of the goddess, diamond vapor, and a diamond. We can also extend the range of this potion by giving it a glowstone dust, a blaze rod, and an attune stone, which is charged. I don't actually know how to charge the attune stone. The attune stone I've made multiple times as it's used in some crafting recipes, in like the spinning wheel, for example. And yeah, I guess it wants the charged version. I'm not actually sure how to get it charged. So for each one of these we add, we get +1 range. And I think you can only add one of each, so you can't do like 2 glowstone, for example. So we're going to do 1 extra glowstone, 1 extra blaze rod. And we have to do this before adding in the biome page. So the biome page is going to be last, and then we want to make it a splash potion, so we add gunpowder. Just keep in mind, if you're doing anything other than the shift in season potion with the Witch's Cauldron, it might be a different setup. But again, check the spreadsheet, as Metas has listed it all very clearly. So yeah, we should be good to go now. The last thing you'll need is a glass bottle to bottle it up. So you just need the fire underneath, fill it with water, and then mandrake, netherwort, tear of the goddess, diamond vapor, a diamond, glowstone dust, blaze rod, the biome page for plains, gunpowder, and that should be our finished potion. And now we just give it the bottle. Uh-oh. Is it right click? Yeah, there we go. And we've got our shift in season potion. Oh, you know what? We weren't wearing the witch's robes there, so I don't know if we got any expertise for brewing this potion. But I guess it's not the last one we're going to brew. So, how do we want to do this? I guess we're going to designate this one here as plains. Yeah, let's just do this one here as plains. And we'll mark the center of where the apiary goes, because I believe this is going to give us a 3-block range, which is going to be just enough. Another egg. And I think we read it was instant, right? So we should see the effects immediately after tossing this thing. I haven't actually tried to use this yet. I just crafted the one potion and then hit record, because I was just so excited to get this thing up and running. Because it means we can do more bees, and I'm finally done with Witchery. As fun of a project as this is, it's definitely not my favourite. I am looking forward to Thaumcraft though. Thaumcraft and the bees and all the tech stuff. Okay, so we are in jungle here. I'll try to highlight it in editing. But we should be able to throw this, and it's going to change to plains if we done everything correctly. Well, it was instant. It was instant right enough, and I'm happy that works. Okay, so plains, 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 plains. 3x3, right? This one is going to be jungle. Oh, this is again plains. Yeah, this is the affected area. I went ahead and checked every block. Every block of spruce wood here, not these ones on the side, But yeah, this is our affected area, at least with the glowstone and the blaze rod. I think if we give it that charged stone, it's going to do an even bigger range, but we don't really need it much bigger than this. Yeah, now just to see if this saffron bee is going to be happy, I'm going to move the Alveary over. It would actually make sense just to craft another Alveary, or yeah, place a new Alveary, as eventually all of these are going to have Alvearies in them. And you can actually see the grass color change as well, which is kind of neat. So we can tell at a glance which one is plains. But yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and craft another Alveary here. We need some electrical stimulators, we need our... We're out of motors, we need some intricate circuit boards. Yeah, I think by this point we can... Oh my goodness, 2,800 industrial TNT. That gives you an idea of how long it's been. And we're now at... How much playtime are we at, actually? 1346. I don't remember what we finished last episode on, but it's been a lot. It's been a lot of playtime, that's for sure. Yeah, we have so much pollen clusters, so many... Like 4,000 royal jelly. That's insane. And how much honey do we have? Almost 1 million honey. 1 million millibuckets of honey. Oh, you know what? I don't know if we have another dimensional transceiver. Oh, we do. We have 5 spare. Okay, that's great. That's awesome. That means we can put another one dedicated for this square. And we can craft these by now at this point, right? Crystalline capacitors, platinum... Crystalline alloy. I don't know if we've made this dust yet. Emerald, gold, and grains of pizzality. Pulsating crystal. Yeah, we can do this with a bit of effort. We don't have recipes set up for all this, but we can... Yeah, we can craft more dimensional transceivers if we... Oh wait, sentient ender? Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. Gonna have to get all the conduit connections hooked up underneath, and same as the other one there. I think I'm just gonna wire in all of the Alvearies, as in place all the conduits, and just have them connected, ready to go, with the drawers and everything, and that way we just have to add our bees as we get the stats and the correct species. So each one is going to get a chest, into a conduit, into some drawers, and we'll make sure we filter this conduit here just in case, and we'll adjust this to whatever bee output, whatever output the bee is going to give us. We'll adjust the conduit when we add the bee. But I'll add the filters now just to make it easier for later on. So every Alveary needs some energy conduit for transmission power, and also some item conduit, extract on blue, to take it from the chest back to the transceiver. Make sure that we're on the right channel, so we want the hive's power channel, and we want the hive's item channel. And I'm in the habit now of always crafting up the next batch of diamantine electron tubes, and even like the transmissions, just crafting ahead of time whenever we take some out of our system, just to make sure we always have them there when we need them. Complete our multi-block, and let's see if this is normal. I'm really crossing my fingers here. Normal, yes, perfect. It's 68%, so it's on the higher side, but it still counts as normal. So now we should actually be getting the special outputs from the saffron bee. Remember, this was the whole reason we went down this whole rabbit hole to begin with. Let's make sure we lock the drawers here as well. Filter in the saffron bee, and we want this on self-feed, blue channel, and we'll set the filter for the chest for yellow tinted comb and honeycomb. So these two will go right here to be inserted into the chest, then into the transceiver, then into yellow net. And if everything is set up correctly, we should now be seeing our combs once we drop the queen in. 15.790, so that is a good sign in the tooltip. So we're at max production, all the stimulators are in correctly. But yeah, we should now be seeing the combs enter the system any second now as the queen runs her cycle. It might take a minute since these are only a 25% chance to generate on each bee tick, which is 27.5 seconds. So it might take a second to show up here. That's dripping comb. That's from the industrious. CD comb. I don't know why that's not getting processed. Oh, that's a ghost item. It's not actually there. Yeah, it's gone now. Did I set the channel here correctly? It should be on blue, right? Yeah, I did. We're just getting a bit unlucky. Come on, little saffron. I'm going to sit here until we generate one of these combs, because I want to make sure this works. I ain't moving from this spot. Wait, that's stringy comb. I ain't moving. Come on, saffron princess. On the other hand, though, did I already filter it into the centrifuge here to be automatically processed? No, I didn't. Yeah, so it should appear here if we generate one. Okay, actually, now I'm getting a bit worried. It is normal, right? Yeah, normal. In active and inactive traits. Normal on this. That's honeycomb. I'm actually starting to get a bit nervous to like, did we do all this for nothing? Is my understanding incorrect? I would hate for that to happen right at the end of the episode. Come on, princess, generate us this comb. Was the appetite one also normal, or was this a different climate? This was warm normal. Okay, so we're gonna have to find a different biome that ticks both of those boxes. Oh, I have an idea. What if we run the queen through her current cycle? Really quick with the Oblivion frame. Let's give it some tick acceleration. And we'll let this queen die and then start the next one. It might be locked to whatever the previous cycle was. Like, it might take into account the biome stats when the princess and the drone mate. So that queen might have actually still technically been in whatever these are. Normal damp. So I bet now, if this doesn't work, I'm out of ideas, but I think this time, once the princess and the drone mate again. Oh, yes. Oh, relief. Are you kidding me on? It was always in the chest. The whole time it was been in the chest. They've been generating, they've been in the chest. And 3 just forgot to set the extraction from the chest. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I restarted the server and I've been sat here for 30 minutes. I've been wondering, like, why are we not generating this comb? And this whole time, so the queen probably has been through several cycles already. Should I cut that out? Am I gonna make myself look like a fool? Oh my goodness, that is so embarrassing. You know what? We'll keep it in. Happens to the best of us, right? Yeah, look at this. I forgot to set this as extract blue. I think that means it's time to take a break. Probably. Oh, too much magic is messing with my head. Oh, I cannot believe that. Now we should be seeing them, right? Yeah. And we'll set them in the centrifuge here. In the stocking bus for yellow tinted comb, which should give us some extra chance at some honey. Although not that we need it at this point. Our bottleneck is definitely not honey anymore. So I guess we're going to look on the positive side and say that we did fix one of our bottlenecks. We can craft many more Alvearies. In fact, let's just do another stack of Alveary blocks. Like it's nothing. 92 buckets of seed oil. And with that, I think we're also going to wrap up this episode right here. Let me know what you think about the Witchery area. And if you have any ideas on how we can connect this underneath. I think I still like the idea of doing the tower. And like extending this down somewhat. And then connecting it up to this walkway, which will eventually extend from our main control room. But if you guys have any other ideas, then leave them in the comments. Don't forget to check out the spreadsheet if you want more information on Witchery. And of course, always set your conduits correctly. But from me for now, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode of Gregtech New Horizons. I hope this episode wasn't too painful to watch. Hopefully it was at least somewhat entertaining. What do you think, Diddy? Do you approve? He's thinking about it.